Today, I'm making the most flavorful chicken cornbread dressing, starting with a great recipe for the cornbread base. And the must have ingredients for a moist, savory, and flavorful dish perfect for the holidays or any day. Let's get into how to make this delicious, soul warming classic. The meat that I'm using is chicken thighs. I'm just going to boil the meat, is the easiest way for me. But again, this is just what I do. You just really just need cooked chicken. So I'm just taking some chicken thighs. I'm using 3, and I'm just gonna boil the meat. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of the oil to the pan. So instead of having to oil the pan, I like to go ahead and have it heated. So I'm going to take these few teaspoons that was dumped in here. I'm gonna throw this in the oven. I like for my cast iron to be very hot when I get ready to add the cornbread mixture to it. So we're gonna throw this in the oven. I'm going to first start by combining the dry ingredients first. So I'm using 1 cup of cornmeal, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of white sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Make sure that you're using baking powder, not baking soda. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And a teaspoon of salt. And we'll just stir those. For our liquid ingredients, 1 cup of milk. This is a 1/4 cup of oil, but keep in mind that a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons was put in the cast iron or the pan to heat the pan. And 1 egg. Egg needs to be slightly beaten. Just add that in. Just give this a stir. And now we're going to combine the wet with the dry. You don't want to over mix the cornbread. Once you ultimately see the big lumps are gone, you just stop mixing, or the dry cornmeal. You don't really want to overmix really anything that, like cornbread or muffins, so pancakes. So let me get this a bit off. I'm just gonna let that sit for about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna add it to the pan and we're gonna let it cook. So this pan is nice and hot. I'm just gonna swirl this grease around. Try to get the edges. All right. the cornbread mixture right on top. Well, not on top. Add it in the cast iron skillet. Y'all gotta excuse me, it's been a long day. So just add that in. You see how that's kind of sizzling on the end? That's what you want. This cornbread here is a great base for a cornbread dressing. So if you can eat it obviously just as is, but it's great for cornbread dressing as well. So we're going to throw this in the oven. The temperature for the oven should be 425. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. So preheat your oven to 425, and we're going to let this cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. Once the top is golden brown. So the base for cornbread dressing is done. I'm just going to let that cool down for a bit, and then once it cools down, then I'm going to just move it to a like a baking sheet to let it cool down further. I don't want to let it just sit in here because then it'll stick to the pan. So I'm just going to let it cool down for a few minutes. Here are the essentials for cornbread dressing. I don't care what you say, you have to have all three of these. There's celery, green pepper, and onion. Ready to add in the cornbread. We're just going to crumble this with our hand. All right, it doesn't have to be broken all the way down. All right. So now we're just going to add in our green pepper. Celery. All that in there. And onion. If you haven't already, go ahead and preheat the oven to 350. And while that's doing that, we're going to continue on adding the eggs, cream of chicken, I fill this up with a cup of water, or you can use chicken stock, chicken broth. I'm just going to use water. I'm not going to put all of it in there because I'm just going to mix it in first and add as needed. This cornbread dressing will soak up that liquid really fast. All right, so now we gotta add in our seasonings. So I got sage, of course. Sage is really something that's added per taste. I could tell you a teaspoon, but some people like more than a teaspoon. I could tell you 2 teaspoons and you might think that that's too much. I'm putting in I would say closer to 2 teaspoons of sage, because I really do like sage in my dressing. Black pepper, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Salt, I would say 1/2 teaspoon of that. And of course our chicken. And this right here is not going to work with this spoon. So we're going to dig in with the hands. All right, so this is good to go. Slides right on out. You let this cook in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 40 to 45 minutes, or until the top is golden brown. So here you have delicious chicken cornbread dressing. Just something different to try. I mean, other than the standard cornbread dressing, you want to add some chicken, you can actually replace the chicken using turkey. It's absolutely delicious. I want to thank you so much for watching my video. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more delicious recipes like this. Thanks so much.